Hello everyone. Today let's get started on our high-yield topic for our upcoming TN MRB 2026. High-yield topics from your Paediatrics, that is to mainly in your vaccine storage, that is storage in your ILR. So this was your question that was asked in 2025 MRB session. So all are free sensitive vaccines except option A rotavirus, option B DT, option C hepatitis B, and option D is your inactivated vaccine. So to know or to answer this question, you need to know how the vaccines are arranged or stored in your ILR. ILR is nothing but your Iceland refrigerator. So this is your ILR, Iceland refrigerator. Okay. So the most heat sensitive vaccines should be stored at the bottom. This is your bottom line. Okay. So the most heat sensitive vaccines should be stored at the bottom line, and most heat resistant vaccines should be stored at your top compartment, that is middle or in your upper compartment. Okay. So to look on this, to remember it very easily, all your live vaccines are your heat sensitive vaccines. That too, first one is your OPV. OPV should be stored at the bottom of your ILR. Next will be your measles, MR and MMR vaccines. Next comes your BCG and your yellow fever vaccine. Another one is your varicella vaccine. Varicella is also your live vaccine. So BCG, yellow fever and varicella should be stored in your bottom compartment of your ILR. Next is your live attenuated hepatitis A. You have inactivated hepatitis A and also live attenuated hepatitis A. Here in a live attenuated should be stored in your bottom compartment. Same wise as JE vaccine should be live attenuated, should be in your bottom compartment, while your inactivated JE should be stored in your top compartment. Next is your rotavirus vaccine. So these are your heat sensitive vaccines. Most of your live vaccines are your heat sensitive vaccines. First one is your OPV, measles, MR, MMR, BCG, yellow fever vaccine. Next is your varicella. Next will be your live attenuated hepatitis A, live attenuated JE vaccine, rotavirus vaccine. These are your heat sensitive vaccine, which are all heat resistant vaccine. Heat resistant vaccine comes your T series vaccine, that is your DPT, TT and your hepatitis B vaccine. These are your heat resistant vaccine, or all the vaccine which has having a pertussis as a component will come under a heat resistant vaccine. Next comes your IPV. IPV is stored here. Next is your all your conjugate vaccine, that is your PCV, this one MCV, meningococcal conjugate vaccine, TCV, that is your typhoid conjugate vaccine. Your inactivated JE vaccine is stored in your top compartment, and your flu vaccine is also stored in your top compartment, and the diluents, all the diluents should be stored in the top compartment. This is the arrangement of the vaccines that are stored in your ILR. So ILR, we are using ILR. Why? Because even if the power supply is being cut, you can use ILR for about 24 hours if there is a continuous power supply of 8 hours, and after that you can use the ILR for 24 hours if there is no power supply. So where you use ILR? Because when there is a power fluctuations, you use your ILR. Fine. Here to you maintain the temperature. So temperature, the range that you are maintaining in your ILR is between 2 to 8 degrees Celsius. So temperature that is being maintained here is 2 to 8 degrees Celsius in your ILR. Okay. Yes. Next, this one. When coming to this question, so all are free sensitive vaccine. All are free sensitive vaccine. The question is except. So free sensitive meaning they will be stored in the upper compartment. That is heat resistant vaccine. Your DT, hepatitis B and inactivated JE. These are all your free sensitive because they are being stored in the middle or in the upper compartment. The only option is your rotavirus vaccine is the correct option for this, which is a free sensitive vaccine because it is stored in the bottom compartment of your ILR, right? Yes. Going on with the next question. Which of the following vaccine should not be kept in the lower compartment? Measles, option A measles, option B BCG, option C OPV, option D pentavalent. So this is obvious or a straightforward question. So the answer is your option D, pentavalent vaccine should not be stored in your lower compartment. Next is regarding your main points regarding your deep freezer. So in deep freezer, the temperature maintenance ranges between minus 18 to minus 20 degrees Celsius, or it can be minus 15 degrees Celsius to minus 25 degrees Celsius. This is also a right option. Fine. So the temperature in your deep freezers are between minus 15 to minus 25 degrees Celsius. Yes. For what they are using a deep freezer? Because to store your ice packs, and also for storing your OPV vaccines at district level. So for storing OPV vaccines at district level and also for freezing your ice packs, we use deep freezers. Okay, so these are the main points regarding your vaccine storage. Mainly they will be asking about ILR. Next, another one important question is this one. How do you store vaccine in your domestic refrigerator? In your domestic fridge. How you store vaccine in your domestic fridge can also be another important question. I'll make a short video on that in our next upcoming videos. Right? Thank you for your patience listening. Kindly like, share, and subscribe our YouTube channel. Thank you.